Okay, it's been a while since I put anything on YouTube regarding ankylosing spondylitis. My last videos had some really nice responses. I like the responses in relation to my sense of humour and the comments made about the sneezing. It's funny really, because in the last sort of 2 years it doesn't hurt as much to sneeze anymore. Unfortunately, I think part of that is due that my chest doesn't expand anymore when I sneeze. If you ever do the sort of the chest test, if you put your hand on your chest and your hand down by your lower abdomen and breathe in, what I find is that my bottom hand is the hand that moves up and down. My chest doesn't move anymore. It just doesn't expand or contract, and so when it comes to sneezing, it doesn't even affect, the expansion and the contraction doesn't affect that. It doesn't hurt to sneeze anymore. It can't really sort of expand in my chest, perhaps losing a bit of lung capacity, which I thought I was, but apparently I've been to a sort of, my rheumatologist talked about my breathing, and it turns out I've begun to breathe diaphragmically from the bottom here, so I'm still getting a good lungful. What is really hurting me at the moment, I've been having a period of inflammation, is my ankle. Never thought this would be really a major part of this ankylosing. When I first sort of was dealing with it and trying to cope with it, my main problem was sort of my lower back and how it affected me in my day-to-day life, like sitting down for too long and standing up. I couldn't stand up straight. It was a great deal of frustration. It caused me to feel low in myself because every time I stood up I was hunched over. I spent quite a long time to sort of try to rectify that by working out, going down the gym, exercising. I thought, right, okay, and it doesn't actually, when I stand up, I'm not going to do it now, but when I stand up, I can stand up perfectly straight, no problems, no hunched overness. It's pretty good, but now it's sort of, I've got the ankle thing and shoulder. My right shoulder is so painful. I'm having to sort of change what type of clothes I wear in relation to my t-shirts. They have to be of a certain material and have a good flex, because my old stuff I used to wear quite tight t-shirts. I was beginning to not being able to take my t-shirt off or put it on. I mean, it was quite difficult in if I went swimming somewhere and I couldn't actually get my t-shirt off. So I've had to actually adjust the clothes I buy because of what I can or can do. Recently, a couple of months ago, I went sort of out with my friends and went to had a game of snooker, and this is something I've not played for a very long time. And as I was leaning over, I mean, the last time I played snooker was 10 years ago at university, and it was so difficult to take the shots. And it's just all those little things that I'm really beginning to notice at this progression of ankylosing spondylitis. And my neck, my inability, if I'm sort of facing you right now, my inability to properly turn my neck. And I'm beginning to notice people, if I'm sitting on a bus and looking at someone in front of me and they're chatting to the person behind them, how they can actually look over their shoulder but still facing forward. And I'm like, wow, I can't actually do that anymore. And I'm really beginning to notice things that I can't do that other people can do. There's a guy walking down the street flicking through a magazine or doing something by looking for, I think it was a map, but he had his, what I thought at first was an earpiece on his phone, but it wasn't. It was actually his phone leaning against his ear, and I was like, shit, I can't do that. You bastard. Other little things I'm beginning to notice. I'm getting a bit dangerous when I ride my bike because I can't really lean over and turn my shoulder, so I'm getting a bit reckless really in my sort of cycling. I just go for it, and I listen. If I'm going to cross a road, looking left and right, I'm either turning my whole body, standing there turning my whole body, or I'm not bothering looking left and right. I'm just relying on the fact that I'm hearing there's no traffic. I'm relying on reflections of things, because I'm beginning to not do things, as in turning my neck, and it's having an impact on me. Another thing I probably would like to discuss is, okay, so I've definitely had this condition since I was 16, and so it's it's now a part of me. It's part of the way I think. I was on the Facebook site ASAP, an Ankylosing thing, and I was looking at some of the imagery of that. Some of the pictures people put on, and people have these different ways of looking at themselves, like Iceman, or you know, like someone who's frozen, that keeps them constantly being frozen. And I use the same sort of terminology. I think of being trapped in stone, and so it's like, wow, actually, like, over the years, this has become who I am. I mean, it's affected my personality in a great deal, and it continues to do so. Being diagnosed, about 3 years ago now, had a major impact on my life, because I think that if you're living with pain, constant pain, for me, I didn't know that I was in pain. It's a weird sort of, it's weird how I sort of dealt with it in my head up until sort of being diagnosed. I saw myself as weak, so like if I was to lift something up and I felt pain, I associate that with weakness. So it wasn't like when I was 16 I started experiencing periods of inflammation, went down, came back again. But for me, as I grew older into a man, I just thought I was a weak person. I didn't assume that I had ankylosing spondylitis, because I didn't know I had ankylosing spondylitis. I didn't assume that there was anything wrong with me apart from being very weak. And I think if you're in prolonged periods of pain, as much as an anorexic might look in a mirror and see a fat person, if an anorexic looks in the mirror, they might see a very, very fat person. Someone who's in pain a lot can look in a mirror and see a very weak person. And I think that's what I did for so long. When I was diagnosed, it completely ripped my personality apart, because for so long I just always assumed I was weak. Finding out that I had ankylosing spondylitis, and that I was just, dealing with it in such a way that, it doesn't seem to be as progressive in me as I've seen with other people, and it's maintaining a healthy sort of body and mind, I suppose, that's really benefiting me. But I've recently had a period of inflammation that's got to me, really has got to me, and this is why I'm doing this video, because it's just that constant pain. It's on Saturday night, the only thing I could do to stop the pain was to lie down and wait for unconsciousness, basically falling asleep. That was my only method of escaping the pain. And today I tried something else. Basically, I went down to the gym and I was on a treadmill for two whole hours, basically, of going from treadmill to cross-country skier. And these are my methods now. It's sort of, if I'm in a period of pain with my ankle, it's either just fall into unconsciousness, or try to sort of allow my body to be pumped with adrenaline and endorphins, to just give myself a break from sometimes the pain. I'm going to be seeing my rheumatologist in August, mid-August, and we're going to discuss about new medication. I've been on diclofenac now for sort of 2 years, and they're not doing the trick as they did when I first started. So we're going to look into do different things. Okay, time's running out, so I'll post something middle of August. Thank you.